Right, so it's now time to get ourselves set up as a professional trader, and more specifically to understand the resources, the critical resources that we need in order to not only plan for an economic event, but also to trade it and take advantage of it. So, what are the resources that we will need to get ourselves in a position where we're replicating the approach of an institutional trader? Well, there are four critical resources: forexfactory.com, FX Pro live squawk feed, the Forex news gun, and an FX Pro trading account. Now, you cannot underestimate the power of these tools. Put together, they will give you the ability to not only enter trades quickly and effectively, but also to ensure you're getting in at the same time as the big institutional traders. Remember, we never want to argue and trade against institutional traders. We want to trade with them and let their momentum, because they can physically move the market, take our trades to our profit objectives. Now, we're going to go through each one of these resources individually in this presentation, but I've also done a designated demonstration video for every single one to ensure you're confident with using each and every single one, and that you're also able to fully take advantage of their benefits, because put together, they are a very powerful team for trading, especially when it comes to economic news events. Okay, first things first, this is really where we're going to start our week with Forex Factory, giving ourselves a view of the next 5 trading days in regards to what economic events are coming out. Remember, we want to concentrate specifically on the high impact news events, those 8 news events that we talked about earlier, affecting the 8 currency pairs that we discussed in those developed nations. So we're only concerned with those specific data points because they have the potential for the greatest market moves. The great thing about Forex Factory is it gives you the ability to start planning your trades or getting some trading ideas together, so that then it's just a matter of waiting for the date and the time of an economic news release. And because you've already got your plan, it's simply then a matter of clicking the button to take the trade. We want the trading bit to be the easy bit. The hard bit comes up front when you're building your trade plan and your trade ideas. We have a whole topic on that still to come, so don't worry too much about that if that's not making sense just yet. We're going to go through that in detail. But Forex Factory is the place you will start to give yourself full visibility of the economic news events for the week ahead, and to give you the ability to start being as proactive as possible and starting to build your trading ideas. Secondly, and very, very powerfully, is the FX Pro live squawk feed. This is very, very powerful. On bank trading floors, on hedge fund trading floors, you will notice there is a constant news feed taking place. There's a guy or a girl constantly updating the market participants with breaking news. Now, normally that will cost a lot of money each month for a subscription-based news feed. With FX Pro, they actually provide this news feed free of charge, which is absolutely wonderful. The only slight difference to what you're getting on an institutional trading floor is there's around about a 10-15 second delay, which is absolutely fine. That's still much better than anything else. If you're trying to get your news announcements from Forex Factory, you'll be refreshing the page for around about 3 to 5 minutes, of which a move could be gone by then. 10-15 seconds after, you're still getting into the market move very, very effectively. And that's the most important thing, is that you're getting a beat on the rest of the market, because you're getting the information, or that news event information, 10 seconds after it comes out. You're still getting that news very, very quickly, enabling you to get into a trade as soon as possible, because the sooner we get into a trade, the greater our profit potential is. Remember, with trading the news, time is of the essence. We want to get in as soon as possible. So this news feed will really help us with that. How do you find it? Well, this will be in the demonstration video, but I'll quickly introduce it here. You will, once you've set up your FX Pro account, you will log into your online account, fxpro.com or .co.uk. Once you've logged in, you'll notice there's some tabs along the top. You want to click on the Tools tab and then go down to FX Pro Squawk. As soon as you click on that, it will automatically kick in, and what you'll start to hear is either a lady or a gentleman starting to talk on your audio feed, make sure that you've got your speakers on, otherwise you'll miss it. And every few seconds, they will update the market with any breaking news. Now, we're not concerned about probably 75% of that audio. What we're concerned about is the audio that takes place in and around those economic news events that we've already pinpointed on Forex Factory. So we're going to turn our squawk on maybe 10-15 minutes before a news announcement and keep it on until we've heard that news announcement. And the great thing about it is they'll give you the countdown. So they'll say 30 seconds to go, 10 seconds to go. So they'll prepare you well in advance of a news announcement. And then as soon as they release it, normally 10 to 15 seconds after the actual economic event is scheduled, they will confirm what the number is on that particular news item. As soon as you hear it, it will either do one of two things. One, it will actually give you the news item that you want, either better or worse, or it will give you the wrong economic result, and then you'll simply not take the trade. So if you hear what you want to hear, and then your trade plan and your trading idea comes together, we click into the trade. If it doesn't, and your trade plan doesn't come together, we simply don't trade and we look for our next opportunity. So really, really powerful resource, really setting yourself up like a professional trader. But 3, this is a really cool tool. Again, it's a free resource. It's a downloadable item which you can get from the course. I've included it in the curriculum, so you just need to download it to your desktop. Once you open it, you will notice that this box pops up. And this is called the Forex News Gun. And what it's doing is it's giving you, in a similar way to the News Squawk, it's giving you the actual figure of a news event almost in real time. This news gun gives you the news slightly quicker than the squawk. As you'll see, you've got the previous, the forecast, and the actual is obviously empty. When the news event happens, normally 5 to 10 seconds afterwards, this box will populate. So it will physically give you the number, the actual number. And it is quicker than the squawk, so you can sometimes use this to your advantage and get into a trade even quicker than listening to the audio. The reason why we have the audio as well is sometimes the audio is quicker than the news gun, sometimes the news gun is quicker than the audio. So we have both. Whatever gives us the news quickest, we will use to our advantage. The only downside with the Forex News Gun is it doesn't cover every single news event. It does cover most, but it doesn't cover every single news event. So we need to make sure that we have the squawk, because that will cover every news event, whilst the Forex News Gun normally covers 90% of the major news events. But it is worthwhile having, because if it can give us that 5 to 10 second advantage over the squawk, it's certainly worth checking every single time. So get it downloaded. Again, open it up 10 to 15 minutes before the news release is coming out, and then keep it on. And then as soon as you get to the point of the news release, you want to be watching it. I have it overlaid on my charts. So I have my charts in the background and I have this in front. And then I'm looking at the actual box. As soon as that populates, I can then click a trade within a second after that news event has been given to me. So a very, very powerful resource that you can use in conjunction with your squawk to give you that breaking news as quickly as possible, so you can execute the trade as quickly as possible. And these are both free resources, but they can give you an advantage, a time advantage, which can translate into some decent profits going forward. Because if you can generate an additional 20 to 30 pips every single time by getting into the market quicker than having to use Forex Factory, that's going to start to add up over time. And then finally is your trading platform. So I've recommended FX Pro. As I mentioned earlier when I was encouraging you to set up your account, you don't have to use FX Pro, but make sure you are using a platform where execution speed is very, very fast and they don't have a dealing desk. We don't want any intervention with our trades, because that will slow down our execution. Because if we're getting the news fast from our squawk and from our news gun, the last thing we want is a slow platform holding us back. The reason why I've suggested FX Pro, MT4 or C Trader is that I personally have had a great experience with them. They're very, very fast. The trades are executed within milliseconds, and that's massively important. So both platforms are excellent. The MT4 platform is more commonly known, so you may have a preference for the MT4 platform because you may be familiar with it and used to it. The C Trader platform is very similar in terms of its functionality, but as you'll see on the demonstration videos, it has some things that are slightly different. The only major difference is C Trader has smaller spreads. So C Trader has smaller spreads, so it means that you're getting into profit a lot quicker than potentially with MT4. But the only downside of C Trader is that they will charge you a commission on every single trade. So there's pros and cons to both. Have a play with both and see what your favorite is. The key thing is that you're getting into the market quickly based off the news, and that the platform is giving you a very fast execution speed. That's the really critical ingredient. It doesn't matter which one you choose, both have their pros and cons, but always be using a broker where they don't have a dealing desk and do not interfere with your trades, because that can scupper your profitability. And as it says right at the bottom, we will use these platforms in conjunction with our Squawk and News Gun to execute a trade instantly after a news release. So we'll hear the news release. As soon as it comes together in regards to our plan, we will then execute the trade as seamlessly and as efficiently as possible. Okay, so to bring the full setup together, so we start with Forex Factory. This gives us the ability to start planning our trades and to generate some trade ideas in terms of what we want to trade, what we don't want to trade, and how we'll trade them. We're going to look at that in a future topic. Then we have the live Squawk feed in the background. That's going to be audio, so we don't really need to have that visible because we can have the audio. We can just have it running in the background. And then we have our charts, which is where we're going to be placing the trade. So either our C Trader or our FX Pro account, doesn't really matter. We'll have that in the background, and then on top of it, we'll have our Forex News Gun. So there's our Forex News Gun on top of our charts. I will wait for the actual figure to come out. If it comes out and my trading idea comes together, then I will simply place the trade. So it's bringing you together. This team all comes together to give you the ability to not only plan a trade, but also to execute it as instantly as possible. And that will make the difference between a big profit and a medium-term profit. And the speed of execution, if it can give you an advantage of 20 to 30 pips every single time, as I mentioned earlier, that's going to start to add up and also add to your profitability. And then we've got a couple of extras. Forexlive.com is a website or a resource that I use just to get a little bit more information before and after a news event. We don't use it to trade off. We will use the Forex News Gun and the Squawk, but what I like to do is just do a bit of research before and afterwards, and this is a great site because it's got guys that will break down the news for you in real layman's terms and just give you a better understanding of what the market's expecting before the event and then how the market reacted after the event, just to give you a bit of clarity on the situation, because naturally news events can stir the emotions, get you all a bit uptight because things are moving quickly. So just having a breakdown of the news event can just calm you down a little bit and get you to leave the trade alone. So it's a great resource. You can refer to it before and after a major news release, and they will digest it in easily understandable language, the news that's about to come out, and then after it comes out, they'll give you an understanding of what the market's thinking before and afterwards. And this helps with your understanding. And when you do this on a regular basis, so when you tune into the market every day, do a little bit of research every single day, what you'll do is you'll get very, very well tuned into the market, and then you'll know what currencies are strong, what are weak, because you'll have tuned in to that frequency of the market. You'll know the market's mood, and that will naturally have its benefits in regards to your confidence in taking trades and also building trade ideas. And then finally is ensure you have a good internet connection. We've gone through everything that's going to set you up and put yourself in a position where you can execute things very, very quickly. If you have a bad internet connection, that's going to just literally scupper your plans. If the internet goes down at the point you're placing a trade or just after you place the trade, then that's going to really stress you out and obviously interfere with your trading potential. So always make sure that you've got a decent internet connection. If you're connected to wireless, make sure that's a strong wireless connection as well, because we don't want any interruptions to our connection, because that can impact on our execution, which we know is important. Okay, so just to summarize this section, it's all about setting yourself up for success, to give yourself the platform to give yourself the edge in the market. You want to align yourself with the professional traders, which we now know that we're doing, and give yourself the edge by getting the news first and then having the trading platform to execute rapidly so that everything ties in. So you've got the news, the breaking news, and then you've got a very quick execution platform to take advantage of that news very, very quickly. Utilize these resources together as a team to create a very powerful setup for trading. And always make sure that your technology is up to speed, your computer's good, your internet's good, because you don't want those things to impact everything else that you've set up to give you efficiency with your execution. And enjoy it. It's a nice feeling to be sat there and to have everything all set up and to feel like a professional trader. And when you start thinking like a professional trader, you start acting like a professional trader, and that's what we want to get to, is where we start to take the returns that the professionals do, where that's enjoying consistent profits on a regular basis. So I'm going to wrap up there, and I will catch you on the next video where we're going to start looking at building a trading plan.